And talking about giving, and spending, everyone's still in that holiday mood, and holidays come with a lot of spending. And you've worked all year, 2022. You've worked hard, and you definitely want to splurge, this holidays. But how do you balance, your spending and saving so Sakpa is not your companion, in 2023? Excuse my pigeon there. Let's talk to Sholafumi Sosonya, founder of Wealthmotley. Join us right here in the studio. Great to have you.
Lovely to be here, Larry.
Yeah, so happy holidays.
Same to you, my brother.
Obviously, I know it's not been an easy year, but we're here.
Yeah, I think it's not been an easy year on everyone.
Yeah, globally.
Investor or not, globally.
Yeah, exactly.
Everywhere in the world, it's not been. Maybe some regions like ours, it can be harder.
Right.
But I think, just been a year we want to forget in a hurry.
Yeah, and obviously just try and enjoy as much as we can, these holidays. But how do we find that balance, though? It comes with a lot of spending.
Absolutely. I think the biggest thing a lot of us don't realize, and I've seen in my experience of coaching and working with people in personal finance, is really that we don't realize that just the way you budget for big expenses in your life and utilities and bills and all, you can also budget for your gifting and all. I think that's where we miss it. Always find that balance. That's the key thing. The biggest thing I also realize is people don't even have budgets. Most of us, we think that we are tracking our expenses, but what we're doing is after the fact. You're not planning where your money should go. You are just deciding or finding out this is where you went to. Some of the biggest things you can do for yourself is look at your statement of account and determine and see how much you actually made and how much you walked out of your account and where did it go. So I find that once you do that budget at the beginning of each month, or if you are a long-range person like myself, you do it at the beginning of the year, then you understand where your money is going to. I think that's where a lot of us miss it. So finding that balance in that you plan for big things, school fees, education, a lot of things, feeding, transport, all of that, but also plan for fun. Plan for time out with family. Even if it's 5% of your income, you want to plan for that. Plan for it, and definitely plan for savings and investment as well.
Sometimes you might find you have to go above that budget.
Absolutely. That's where miscellaneous comes in.
So,
and like you say, like people say, there's YOLO. You only live once sometimes. Right. So I find that it's never sustainable when you tell people to keep saving, investing, being careful of spending and co. There's also, it's just one life you have. So you might as well enjoy and splurge and have some good fun with family and friends. So experiences definitely will come. Things you do not plan will come in. But always having, again, a budget, a range in mind. So this month you plan to enjoy with 50K, but you ended up spending 35K. So there's more for next month to enjoy. Or you go over next month, you decide that, you know what? In the coming months, I'll try to reduce what I splurge on. So those are the ways to give and take. It's never an exact science. And like we say, personal finance is very personal. Something that's fun to me might not be fun to you. I find, chilling at home, watching YouTube, all of those things, very relaxing, very fun. But while I'm doing that, I want to eat shrimp.
Right.
I want to have, but then some people will want to go out, and be gallivanting around. So it's all about making those personal sacrifices and knowing what works for you.
That reminds me of a joke I saw one time. It said, I want to go out and get fresh air. Then you go out and get fresh air, next thing, 10K has left you.
My brother, you just step out of the gate, pim, 20K. And you're like, where is the money going? And you understand that it's like the inflation, like we call it the silent tax, is just eating into everyone's income.
Right.
And most salaries are not measuring up to that. So people are finding that the naira is going in very quick succession. So it's about finding that balance. Again, just being very prudent. And I think 2023 is that time that is super important for everyone. If you've never planned your finances, I think 2023 is the year to do it, because there's so much uncertainty on the horizon. Inflation around the world, looming recession, the Nigerian elections. So many different things are affecting us. And you just know that at the end of the day, it's still this salary or this business and co. So planning ahead of time is literally planning not to go hungry.
Right. And talking about, inflation and wages, we saw inflation, sky high this year, and wages didn't really match. And obviously, it's the end of the year, and some companies would be giving out, Christmas bonuses this year, even though some might not be able because of the cost of doing business, has been crazy this year. So you get that bonus. What do you do as an employee?
So I always feel like, depending on who you are, if I get a bonus, some of the things that I do, and I try to use myself as a personal example, yeah? It's about, okay, it's a bonus. It might be expected or not expected. I always save the huge chunk of my bonus because that's extra money that I didn't plan to get, that I didn't put in my savings. So it's extra cash coming in. I always put a lot of it into my savings and my investment portfolio. So if it's to put some in a high-income savings account, put another in a small real estate, fractional real estate, or buy some stocks and bonds and all for it then. But I also say about 20–30% I lounge. Like I enjoy it, I YOLO it. I go out with my family if I have to, buy some fun things, buy something that I like. Just something to show that at the end of the day, I worked hard and I got this bonus. So I think that's how people should do it. We always make the mistake of spending all of our bonuses. I mean, it's a bonus, it's right. Good. But then how do you grow your income if you are putting all of your expenses, all your savings, everything on just your salary? So that bonus is that extra that's supposed to push you. If you spend it, then it's just like you didn't have the bonus. You see what I'm saying? So finding that balance, enjoying some of it, but a huge chunk of it should definitely go into your investment or your savings.
And obviously, with the rise of loan apps, these days, and obviously that betting binge, going on. A lot of people, looking for money. We've seen them have to go and get loans to enjoy, the holidays.
I mean, I put it on my page on IG the other day that it's a silent scourge that is eating into the very fabric of our society. This loaning apps, it's that people don't realize how expensive it is to get these apps, and it's the measures they go through to retrieve their loans from you. And don't get me wrong, most of the people taking these loans are not taking 1 million naira loans. They're taking 30K loans. They're taking 40K loans. That shows you that they really are not in the highest socioeconomic bracket. So they're really low. But then if you are now saying on that loan, this person who is so desperate to go loan 50K has to pay 10%, 15% per month as interest on it. When people hear per month, they don't realize how big per month actually is. So if you're doing 10% on a 50K loan, that's 5K a month. Yeah? If you're looking at that in a whole year, that's 120%. So you're paying more than double what you actually loaned. Now, it's not only that, it's the measures they go through to get back to the embarrassment, the calling of the labeling you kidnapper. I saw someone's picture who was labeled as a kidnapper.
An obituary.
An obituary. Why would you put yourself in those things? So the biggest thing I always tell people is, look, if you cannot source your money from the bank, source from your business, source from family and friends and co, those loan apps are not your friend. And you know the funniest thing? After those apps put you through all of these problems and you finally are able to repay the loan, the next day they send you another email saying that you are now eligible for another loan. So they're literally for a bigger loan. So after they go, so it's almost like people are, and I don't know why it's not regulated. In the Western world, everybody understands credit card loans are huge. The interests are high. The interests are high, even though people don't realize it. But it's not those measures that are put in place. And I feel like we are not ready fully for a credit society. Because if someone that is having to loan 40K is having to pay that high, then where are they going to find it? You see what I'm saying? So that's one on loans. On the betting,
sure bet.
Sure bets, like sure odds. Really? You think if it was sure, we'd all be working? We'd all be seated there. It makes no sense. So I was just putting out on my page today on TikTok saying that, did you know that if you saved about 550 naira every day, in a year you'll have successfully saved almost 200K? And you can invest that easily, yeah, just by putting it aside. But people are betting that amount daily, thinking that it's just, and then off win or something that you win once in a while, then that's it. You don't really win much, so you're losing every day. So it's like literally burning money. I'd rather you spend the money on food and just know that you ate, yeah, or you gave it out or something, than to be putting it on betting apps. And you see, betting in itself, I don't think is the actual issue. I think the biggest issue is the fact that people are addicted to it. It's almost like their own high. Now, the shocker is, guess where you find over 95% of all of these betting shops? It's all of the low-income areas, the areas where people are really not making much. So it's like an extra tax on your intelligence, because you are there struggling to survive, whereas you walk over to that shop and go and play the very local ones. I don't want to call any names, but you play them. You quickly do 500
the
here,
lotteries,
200.
right.
And then you win nothing. And they continue. It's the inability to stop. And it's not only young men. I hear now young women who work in great companies, who understand life, are getting stuck in this. So there's something about that addiction that is being there and slowly ebbing away at people, and we are not highlighting it. Right. We are not talking about it. Some of this betting apps now have, ads out, but they're not calling out in the ads that this can be an actual addiction. They're saying, oh, when you are eating, you know when to stop eating. Tell them to stop betting. Tell them to understand that this is supposed to be for pleasure. It's supposed to be a once-off thing. It's supposed to be for you to look at your favorite team and say, oh, I'm betting that this person's going to score today and go. Like yesterday when we had the Arsenal match, and I was so excited that Nketiah actually lived up to the billing.
Right.
So those are the fun things of it. But when it becomes an everyday thing that you cannot stop, then there's a problem, especially when you really can't afford it. That's where the problem is.
All right, before I let you go now, just quickly, going into 2023, what's the plan?
2023, I think if you've never ever made a budget in your life, this is the time to do it. It can be as simple as drawing a T on a page, yeah? T. One column, how much you're earning and what you have to do. The next column, you put how much you're spending and all. Doing it before the fact, that's the biggest thing, yeah? If you've never saved or invested, this is the year to do it. I always tell people at least 20% of your income should go to your savings and investment. It is extremely, just because this is the year that we're going into a year where there's so many uncertainties. Saving, investing, saving in currency that is much more stable than ours is most important. And then building emergency funds. People don't realize that you need to build something that in case you lost your job today, for the next 2-3 months, are you going to be able to survive? Are your kids going to be able to go to school? Getting that sorted is very important. So very important. I think the budget, the investment, the emergency fund, extremely key things.
And obviously it's not been an easy year for investors also.
No, it hasn't.
But, we're hoping for the best.
We're hoping for the best. We know the markets always recover. Always, 100%
always.
There's
always a recovery. All right, thank you so much, Ashalafumi Shosonya, founder of Wealthmotley. It was great having your perspective
Lovely to come as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.